go. Hello everyone, my name is Brianna Wren and I'm currently a sophomore at Columbia State Community College. I'm enrolled in the Fundamentals of Communication course, and today I will be talking to you about Indian culture with a special interest in push factors as well as their pull factors. As Albert Einstein said, we owe a lot up to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. India has contributed to not only mathematics and science, but has helped develop medicine, astronomy, literature, philosophy, architecture, engineering, and economics. These past couple years, I've had the privilege to meet and get to know 5 coworkers that have moved from India to Tennessee. We have had countless conversations discussing how different their culture is from ours, which has ignited my interest in today's speech. Let's go ahead and begin our journey learning about Indian culture. India's culture is a blend of different languages, regional differences, and traditions and customs. India is extremely diverse and has over 1,600 languages, though only 22 of those languages have been officially recognized by their government. Hindi is the most commonly used language, with 44% of the population using it as their primary language. The language you speak is often determined by the region you live in. Now that we have discussed languages, let's move on to the traditions and their customs. India is not only known for their elaborate festivals, but weddings as well. While researching, I was drawn to how detailed a traditional Indian wedding is. First, the couple will have an official announcement of their engagement. Then the bride will get henna on her hands and feet. This is called a mehendi. A day or two before the wedding, they hold a party with singing and dancing. Next, the official wedding is held. The wedding also holds its own traditions and customs. After the wedding, there is a reception that is similar to what we all know. Finally, there is a farewell ceremony. This is when the bride leaves her family's home to start her new life with her husband. Indian weddings can last up to 7 days, if not longer, depending on the family. It's also common to have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 guests attending. Let's now shift our focus to the push factors of India. Push factors are the reasons why natives migrate away from their homes to other countries. These factors for India can include high population, currency differences, and the caste system. As of 2023, India's population is approximately 1.4 billion people. This is the second most populated country in the world and is expected to surpass China's population in the future. This large population contributes to various forms of pollution, which in return has severe negative impacts on people's health and the environment. Our next push factor is the currency difference. Many people from around the world look to migrate to America because of the strong value of the US dollar. $1 US is equivalent to 83 rupees, which is India's currency. Our last push factor is the caste system in India. This is the traditional social hierarchy that has been around for thousands of years and is deeply rooted in Hinduism. Let's now move our attention to this informative video on the caste system.
How to turn around.
Caste represents one of the more ancient, if you will, forms of division, dating more than 3,000 years in what we now know as the subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka to some degree, and Nepal, as a way of determining who did what. You have 4 main castes. You have the priestly caste, you have a warrior caste, you have a business caste, and then you have a peasant caste. Beneath that is another caste, outcasts, called the Dalits, untouchables. They are the people who clean sewers. They clean the garbage. They basically clean up after other people. They're considered impure. When I first heard the term untouchable, I was amazed, even in the context of America's racial history and its racist dynamics, to hear people referred to as untouchable.
This is one of the main negative factors within Indian culture my coworkers have taught me about. Imagine
don't want people to think of feeding food.
Imagine having your future determined for you before you were even born. The caste system determines who you socialize with, what type of home you live in, the type of education you will receive, and the marriage and family you will one day create. It also affects the political power, the type of health care you will receive, as well as determines how protected you are under the law. While there are laws that protect caste system-based discrimination, lower caste members have less chance of seeking justice. Imagine how your life could change if a person in a higher caste accused you of crime. Now let's move on to the positive factors of Indian culture, which are pull factors. Pull factors are positive factors that attract you to a country. For India, these factors include having a lower cost of living, having a safer environment, and a more accessible transportation system. The cost of living in India can vary depending on the city and one's lifestyle, but is very cheap compared to America. Let's take the average cost of rent in Mumbai. This costs anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000 rupees a month. That is converted anywhere between $359 US to $718 US based on the size and location of where you're renting. Not only is rent a plus, but the environment has a lot less crime compared to America. This would be more suitable when raising a family. Lastly, let's talk about their transportation system. India is known to have one of the largest railways networks. It connects to almost every part of the country. This is a very affordable and accessible way to travel. Overall, India has a very unique culture, as well as pros and cons of the culture. According to the 2023 edition of the International Migration Outlook, 2.5 million Indians migrate overseas, which is the highest annual number of migrants in the world. In conclusion, migration is influenced by a mix of reasons, including all the push and pull factors we have discussed today. Thank you.